Okay. It says I'm live, so I hope I am. Hope everything's going fine with everybody this morning. And hopefully, we'll get a few in here to chat with and we'll check it out and make sure everything's working fine here ourselves. Yeah. Hey, Joyce, straight top of the morning to you, too. Yeah. I hope everything's going good up north. As you see, even down south here, it's a little bit chilly. A little bit chilly. I've had to break out a sweatshirt. It was 38 degrees this morning down here, which is that's a huge drop from what it has been, and it's kind of chilly. What kind of temperature have you got up north, up there at the communist state of New York? Well, not all of it, I guess. Kathy's state up there. How's Kathy's state doing? And all that sort of stuff. I I kind of got up this morning first thing and I 50. Lord have mercy, it was 38 down here. Like I said, I broke out this sweatshirt. I broke out this sweatshirt this morning because it was nippy. Y'all must have had a lot of cloud cover or something. Y'all have had all that rain up there. We haven't. We could use some of that rain down here. It's dry as a bone. You walk on our grass now and it's crispy. It's terrible. We hadn't had any rain to any significance. I think we had just like an eighth of an inch the other night, and but any that made any difference in probably a month and a half. We are dry as a bone. I was going to put out some grass seed, but I don't even think it would germinate now with the lack of water we have. So I'm not even going to attempt that. But it's cold. It is really cold. I put up, of course, I got up this morning just to see if anybody won that big lotto. And uh, of course, nobody did. It's up to $1.55 billion right now. 1.55 billion. Can you imagine what you would do if you won that? And would you want anybody to know it if you did win it? You'd want to buy in somewhere where you could be anonymous because you definitely wouldn't want anybody, the media or anybody else, to broadcast your name or whatever. It would just be horrendous if you were if everybody knew you won it. You'd be inundated with all kind of requests for money and charity and everything else, and people trying to steal from you. And I would imagine it would create havoc for you and your family. Yeah, everybody would be your best friend. That's for sure. Everybody would be your best friend. Everybody would have an excuse. Uh, everybody and his brother and cousin. You'd have more new cousins than you could shake a stick at, probably, and best friends and relatives and all kind of things like that, and be reached upon by every fly by night charity and everything else, and uh, that everybody needed. I mean, your decisions would uh, be monument. It would be terrible to have to deal with that. I mean, and in all seriousness, I mean, it would be good, but it would be bad. I mean, people don't think about that. I think when you see all these, I bought my dream lottery house, and they broadcast the fact that they won money and all that sort of stuff, and it's I don't think I would want the publicity. I don't want undue publicity anyway, and everything. I just I'm just a simple guy. I enjoy a simple life. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people do. A lot of them. You see them broadcast on there, and they win a lotto, and then and 2 or 3 years later, they're totally broke, totally broke. Go through every bit of it, and It's a crying shame. I mean, it would you would want to be anonymous, and you would want to be able to take care of, I think, your immediate family and friends or whatever you wanted to do. You'd want to be charitable, but you'd also want to be able to put it back in a nest egg so it would pro- so it would actually make money for you. I mean, you'd want to, in my opinion, you'd want to put the nest egg back and let that make you usable money with the interest and everything else. Yes, some do, and some just blow right through it, Walter. Hey, renegade. Yeah, yeah. Just trying to get the chat started here and see what's going on with everybody. Yeah, well, yeah, it's up there. It's up to 1.55 billion. 1.55 billion. Like I said, I mean, who can imagine that? Of course, if you take the cash option, they immediately cut it in half. You only get 650 million, I think. But I mean, still, it's even with the cash option, you'd be fantastic. You'd get the cash option, then you'd have to pay 37% interest, you know, tax and everything on that, which would knock you down to 400 million. But 400 million is still a ton of money. You could put that in the bank and live off the interest for the rest of your life and never have to touch the principal. Yeah. 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 Don't think I won, Renegade. If I won, you wouldn't see me up here in the shop this morning. I don't know. You probably would. Uh, but no, I didn't win. Nobody won. Nobody won the big one. Uh, that's what we're talking about. It's up to one $1.55 billion. I mean, you could take it out over the 30-year payout if you wanted to, and then you'd get like 55 million a year for 30 years, which would be fantastic too. But yeah, that's something. No, I didn't win. I like I said, I'm like everybody else. I would like to, but you would fear what would become of how your life would change. I mean, I love my life like it is right now. I would not want it to change dramatically with uh, with money. I mean, I'd love it, but you'd want to be cautious. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember reading that about a man in Florida. Yeah, he had his girlfriend and his girl. I think his girlfriend was the one that murdered him, or her, and some other guy murdered him, and that sort of stuff. And yeah, there's been several people that's won lottos that have gotten killed and stuff like that. So it's that's what I say. It's a scary proposition when anytime you get a lot of money, people are out to get it from you. I mean, they'll take it from you any way, shape, or form. And so it's not the easiest thing in the world to think about and all that. But how's everything going with everybody? Uh, I've had a good morning here. Like I said, it's nippy this morning. It was, like I said, 38 degrees down here. We had a clear sky last night. I guess that's what opened up everything. It was clear, and we the temperatures really dropped last night. That I'm glad. I like the fall time of the year. This is the time of the year I got married. Actually, time of the year I started going steady with my wife. Uh, we got two anniversaries coming up in just a couple of weeks, and she and I will be married 53 years this year. So we're feeling pretty good. Oh, there's Jamie. Hey, Jamie. I had to tell everybody. Jamie actually dropped by to see me the other day. Jamie was in the area. He was in Charlotte, and we got together. And Jamie dropped by to see my humble abode down here in North Carolina, and see the shop and met Jim, and uh, he and I rode around the great big town of Cherryville. Our little town's not much. I mean, it's 5,000 people, but it's home, and I enjoy it. Uh, I know most everybody in town and around and everything. And uh, Jamie and I kind of rode around. And I didn't show him every single thing because he had to get on to Washington, but I showed him a lot. I showed him the highlights of the highlight parts. I showed him my shop up here, and like I said, we rode around the farm a little bit, uh, down to the house where I'm building a new building and all that sort of stuff. I hope you enjoyed the tour, Jamie. Uh, yeah, yeah, Cherryville, North Carolina, USA. Yeah, it's a typical hometown that you would want to live in. I will tell you that. I love my little hometown of Cherryville, and uh, it's 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 typical USA. It's Mayberry RFD almost. It's about like Mayberry. I mean, uh, Jamie and I were riding back up. We went up to move this car around, uh, and we stopped in the middle of the street, and the city manager came out, and he and I were chit chatting and everything, and that kind of stuff. And that doesn't happen in a big city. You're not going to stop in the middle of the street and not get run over by people blowing their horn and all kind of things like that. And we're still able to do that in this small town and feel comfortable and not. Not be inundated with a lot of crime and other things. I mean, we still have our share, and we got more than we like, but as far as comfort and safety, you really feel it in a small hometown like this. So it's nice. I mean, this is if I had a choice of any place to be in the world, this would be it. And you hear the occasional motorcycle or somebody running out right there, but we enjoyed it. And I I acclimated Jamie to a local cheeseburger. I hope it was good and that sort of stuff. Uh, but we enjoyed it. I had to get Joey down. Joy and Mike gave me the hospitality in Albany when I was up there, and I've got to get my old videos and put that up before long. I ran across it the other day, and I said, "Gosh, I need to get all this edited." I'm about so far behind on editing some of my videos. I need to start doing that as the weather changes and that sort of stuff, and get some of these that I've been taking. I'm not the best videographer, I guess. I take videos and then I'll set them to the side, and I got to get consistent with some of these uh, things. The easiest thing to do is like what we're doing this morning, is getting up and chatting and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's right. I've got nothing to do but time. Uh, you would think that. You would think. And Jamie was down here. You can ask him. I stay pretty busy. I got you. You can. He can look around, look at the projects I've got. I've got a lot on my table. I don't have schedules on my table. That's a good thing, and that's sort of the deal that me and Jim have with the shop here. We like getting things done. We like to do things, but we don't want to have a schedule. I mean, if we're working on this car and we work on it and get stuff done, that's great. If we work on it and we don't finish anything, that's great. So I don't want a schedule, and I think schedules are some of the things that uh, really put pressure on people. And I don't want pressure like that. I've got very little pressure in my life right now, and that to me is a retirement that I really enjoy. The fact that I don't have pressure on me. I don't have pressure to make a certain amount of money to pay bills. I don't have pressure to build anything. I don't have pressure to do anything for a certain person. So pressures are are few and far between. Now I still have a few here and there, and but from what I used to be used what I from what I used to do and what I how I used to be, I mean, it's night and day difference. The pressure is minuscule for me, and I don't let it. I don't let pressures get to me at all. I try not to. Uh, I try not to put myself under any kind of undue pressure because that I think like blood pressure, it gets high because the more you make yourself do things like that, the worse off you are. And that's why we kind of we got a laid back shop here. And you know, I'll give Jim an assignment or something to do sometime. I'll say, Jim, can you do this or will you do this? And he jumps on it and does. I mean, he did a brake job for me the other day, and of course he realized, if he didn't get it done that day, he'd get it run done the next or whenever on those sort of things. And it's no big deal. We don't let these made up pressures get to us like we used to. I mean, we when we were with FedEx and under the clock all the time, it seemed like it was a whole different world. And like I said, if we're talking about the lotto, if I were to win the lotto, I would want it to be anonymous because you'd want to be able to not be under the pressure to do what other people would want you to do with that money. Yeah, I got Malcolm's name back. This is my buddy Malcolm's. I'm gonna put my thumbs up there. Uh, yeah, my buddy Malcolm back there. That's on my car on my 55 here. I'm trying to get him reelected. He's a great friend. He's one of my best friends. He and I go all the way back to grade school, and as far as knowing each other and running around with each other, and uh, we have helped each other in times when it was tough for either one of us, and we've been a shoulder to each other when we needed to be, and so it's been a good thing, and he's a true friend. He's a true friend. I could pick up the phone anytime, day or night, ask him questions and say, "Hey, can you help me?" He'd be right down. He wouldn't hesitate to come down, and I'd do the same for him too. If he called me right now, I would shut down the computer, go on and help him, and that sort of stuff. And he's the type friend you need. He's the type friend you need. So it's good to have friends like that, and I hope he can get reelected. And he treats everybody in our town that way too. I mean, he tries his best to solve problems, and it's tough. It's tough to because you can't help everybody. You can't solve everybody's problems. Yeah, they are. They're real hard to find. They're real hard to find, and he's one of them. He and I, like I said, we've gone back all the way to grade school as with friendship. So I've known him 60 plus years, and since I can remember. Yeah, you got to watch what you say about old politicians, hadn't you, Jamie? Jamie being a politician himself, and if you're in the Gloucester area, I don't know, is it just a major part of the Gloucester of Massachusetts? We had to reelect Jamie, get Jamie reelected. He's is it November 7th for you also, Jamie? I guess it is. I think that's a nationwide. But yeah, it's tough to think about. Well, I'm about to lose my train of thought. Let's see. Let me get it. Let me see if I. Hey, how do you like my effects, guys? That's this new thing that Apple's got, which I think is crazy. because the first day I saw it on you, I thought somebody was pranking me, and I said, "How in the heck are they doing that?" Because like if I say, "Everybody give me a thumbs up," and there pops a thumb, and which is pretty cool. And that's something that Apple and I think if you do this thumb, it's well, it'll flip flop, yeah. Like I say, and if I do both thumbs, it gives. If I do both thumbs, it gives me that. And then another effect, if I do down like that, no, wait a minute, what is it's something like I thought if I did this, it did something. There we go. It rains. Well, it did it just a little bit. And there's something else I forgot. I think yeah. If you do that sign, yeah, look at there. I've got balloons. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Do it again. Let's see if it'll work. If you do the victory sign, see if I do a double victory. Yeah, there and there's that. Yeah, yeah. That's the new feature, Renegade, on uh, uh, the new iOS, and you got to have the 17, the new 17 on your phone and everything, and it'll do those features. But it is it's kind of cool. Like I said, but I got to be careful when I'm doing these videos because I'm bad habit of putting my thumb up, and then there pops up the thumb. So I have to watch myself doing gestures out here because it'll do that in the background. But yeah, everybody give me a thumbs up because that helps the analytics on all this stuff and all that. Well, I got a little itchy eye here. Get a little matter in my eye. Hey, Roadrunner, how are you? Yeah, yeah, I'm a hitchhiker like that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm like getting back to the lotto thing. Tell me what you guys would do if y'all were to win it. I know what I would do, and like I said, I would try to keep the nest egg because I mean, there's only so much that you need to spend. I mean, good gosh, the millions and millions. You would want it to be sustainable for the rest of your life and your children's life and your grandchildren's life and everything like that. I would want it to be sustainable. So I would hold it close in and use it like a business and use it like the nest egg of the business and have it make money. Excuse me, and have it. Yeah, you buy land and build a huge shop. Yeah, well, that's a good thing to do too. I'm kind of into that market anyway. I've got a few shops around. Jamie saw that. I didn't actually show him my big shop up here. I kind of almost embarrassed. I've got so much stuff in that. I should have shown it to him, but we didn't have time. But I got my other other classic cars in it and that kind of stuff. We have it for storage mainly. But this is the working shop down here. This is the one we actually work in. Yeah. Well, that may not take long over in Africa, would it, Tim? I tell you, the starvation and everything. Yeah, that's. Of course, they ought to be rich over there. I get these letters from those rich Nigerian princes all the time, so there ought to be a lot of rich people. Yeah, yeah, there ought to be a lot of rich people considering all that I get sometimes from. You'll get those to say, we got millions of dollars and we need you to help us convert things and all kind. You get all kind of these crazy letters, and they may be rich now because they've got a lot of suckers from the United States to give them money and everything, which is crazy. But yeah, that would be a good thing. Yeah, if you could. I I'm fortunate that I've got some shops like that. I can't complain. Uh, this new shop I'm building that I'll have to give videos. I'll have to show some videos of that. We poured the concrete this week while Jamie was down. We were doing the last pour. Uh, we were doing the last pour that the day that he was here, and hopefully that shop's going to be a nice. It's more of a shed than a shop, uh, but I've got three doors on it, three openings, and I'm gonna be able to get my tractor and a lot of my implements out of the elements and everything. I mean, right now, I've for years I've been collecting all these implements, and they've been out in the elements, and you get grass growing up on them, and sometimes you get grass growing so quick that you can't find the implement. Almost, it's terrible, and I just don't like that. So I built this shed to be able to house most of my implements and tractor supplies and stuff like that, and try to neaten things up. I've got plenty of buildings, and my job right now in life seems to be uh, getting all my stuff in order. Um, uh, I told my wife I'm gonna put the shelves and have everything labeled up good. She said, "Yep." So when you're gone, I can sell it all and get better money for it. So that's probably what will happen. I'll get the size of it. When I get a 30 by 60, I built it 30 by 60 and then put a concrete pad in there, a 4-inch concrete pad, and with fiber and 4,000 psi too. I did it a little bit heavier. I mean, a lot of people pour sidewalks and everything 3,000 psi, but I did 4,000 psi because I knew I was going to have a little bit heavier equipment, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's hopefully it'll be a nice shed shop and that I can arrange some stuff neatly in there and be able to find things and get things and that kind of stuff. We're actually going to take some of this shelving back here that I'm utilizing, but not to the fullest extent that it needs to be, and take it down there. And I've got some other shelving I'm gonna get powder coated and put that in there with it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think uh, Robert did a great job doing that. I have a guy that does cement for me. He does good work. Yep. Well, there's always the unfortunate thing. Always going to be the haves and the have-nots, Tim. Uh, we could. I used to hear years ago. My granddad used to tell us. He said, you could take all the money in the world and distribute it out evenly among all the people in the world. And he said within days and months, the people that have the money now would have the majority of the money again, uh, because of the nature of how people operate. And that's what he was talking about. It wasn't so much the the fact that if, like I said, if you took all the money and evenly distributed among all the people in the world, people that are good at manipulating things would have that money right back again. And I think it's pretty much a true fact too, because a lot of it is environment, and a lot of it's uh, just nature itself, the way people operate. Well, in reality, Chris, I think it would have relatively little to change my lifestyle. I like my lifestyle as it is. I mean, I'm not a rich man, but I'm comfortable. I mean, I do well and I have done well for myself. Uh, I can't complain. Of course, I could squander what I have away, and my wife is real tough on me sometimes. She doesn't want me squandering. She accuses me of getting a little bit loose with the dollars as it is. So I have to be careful there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I look. There's the concrete with the hosses too. No, there. That's a pretty good concrete channel too. Yeah. Well, hey, I got both outcasts in here this morning, hadn't I? Oh no, no, I thought that was Chris. That ain't Chris. I thought that's Ricky, isn't it? I said Chris. Now that's Ricky on Outcast Projects. Uh, I think I'm right. In that Ricky handling Outcast Projects. Uh, oh man, Outcast Raw. Okay, yeah, but this is Ricky. I'm sitting here this morning, isn't it? Outcast Projects is Ricky, isn't it? I keep forgetting. Sometimes it can be too easy to remember all that or to get them crossed up. But you know, I, I'm proud of where I stand in as far as okay. It's okay. I got Chris. Okay, Chris. How am I getting that square crossed up? All right. Well, anyway, got Chris, not Rick. I having two different outcasts like that every once in a while throws me off. You got to excuse this old man here. I can get things crossed easily. But yeah, I would like to think that I could keep some saneness about myself. Yeah, yeah, you're bad. Um, I like to. I like my lifestyle that I have, and I would not want to change my total lifestyle. I mean, there's some things, and I'm at the point in my life. I think if something like that were to happen, if a lotto win were to come along, if there was a big influx of money, I would want to look for the next generation. Uh, I would want to see what I could do for my children and my grandchildren and that sort of stuff, and have something for them that would be good and not let them work just for money or whatever. Just establish a business of some sort or something like that, or something that would be good. Well, and I enjoy land. I would probably be that. I would probably be a big purchaser of some land because land, they don't make any more of it. That's for sure. And, uh, of course, you have to pay a lot of taxes on it and everything. But I like having land. I've got a few acres down here in North Carolina, and I enjoy what I've got. I've got some, uh, some that's generating some revenue for me, so that's a good thing. And I like having that. I like having property that will is consistently generating revenue for you and that sort of stuff, and it's not hard to maintain. That I like, uh, and you know I could have more of that if I wanted to, I guess, and I probably ought to in some ways. Yeah. Well, that's good, Tim, if you can do that, and being charitable is a good thing. I give there's certain charities that I give to, and if I, and like I said, if I was a big winner of some sort, I would do a lot of local charities because I would want to actually see the result of what I did, my efforts, as opposed to just arbitrarily just throwing money at a charity that you know nothing about. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, yeah. Um, the land and everything is hard uh, to beat. I mean, it's they don't make any more of it. That's the whole thing about it. So each time it's divided up and bought and sold and resold and everything else, it has a value that keeps increasing. And so you I think you've got a tangible item that you can enjoy if you treat it right. And that's what I've got. I've got this property across town, and I've had several people because it's in a prominent area that said, you ought to sell this. And I told the guy a price I wanted. He said, well, that's too much. He said, I don't think you ought to sell it. You ought to sell it for this price. And I told him, I said, well, let me explain to you. I only have one opportunity to sell it. I don't get to sell it twice. I get one opportunity. So this is my price. If you like my price, that's fine. If you don't like my price, that's fine. The person that will get it is the person that agrees with me on my price. I said, I'm not negotiable on these things. I mean, I don't need the money. I got it's generates money for me now, so I'm not in need of them taking that property away from me. So, and that's a good feeling, unless you're in a desperate situation when you feel like you desperately need to sell something and move on, then you're always in a good situation to when it comes to selling something. Yeah. Well, I can understand, Tim. That's tough. And it's good to be charitable and give back. It makes you feel good. I mean, I have several scholarship funds that I contribute to each year, and you know those of us that give to our local churches too, and it's used locally. Our church does a lot of local charitable things, and you feel good that you've helped contribute to that. So charity begins at home, I do believe, and that's the way I always kind of think about things. So, uh, you know, charity does start at home, and if you can take care of your family, you take care of family and God and those things in your life. I think your life will be more fulfilled than it would be if you. I mean, I don't want a bunch of boats and cars. I mean, I like cars, and I would probably buy a few if some antique cars and a few things like that if I had money. But I wouldn't go buying every single one I could get my hands on and that sort of stuff. I like having doing everything in moderation, I guess. And you know, I know I would if I had more money, I'd probably buy a few more computers and cameras and a few things like that. Of course, my wife said I'd probably ought to have an editor, somebody to walk around with me with a camera if I were to do it upright. Because as it stands now, uh, that's I get all these film that I take and I haven't edited it. I need to get somebody to help me edit some of my videos. And that would be a good thing. Yep, that's exactly right, Jamie. The man upstairs is the big boss, and you have to think about that. That you have to think about that because he controls the one thing that we can't buy more of, and that's time. And that's the one thing when you think about the world and you think about what's going on. all the money in the world won't buy you more time. You've got a limited amount of time on this earth, and after you're gone, you're gone. So, that's one thing you have to think about in reality, that the riches won't buy you more time, and so you better make the best of it while you can. And I often think of that. I mean, I really do. And and I try to be a good person thinking about it. I try to have a good heart, uh, because I know that my time is limited on this earth, really limited, because I I'm not going to live to be 100. I probably won't live. I'll be lucky if I make it to 80, and and that's just a few short years away. And I need to make the best of that. I'm thankful for the 72 years that I've had, and 72 years have gone by so fast. I mean, honestly, I can sit down and visualize how I felt and looked at 18, at 17, 18 years old. And sometimes I feel like I'm still that boy, and I'm not. Uh, it's there's a lot of things that happen between 17, 18 years old to now. And when I couple all that together and think about it, and when I look at these timelines, it's amazing to me that I've lived through all these things. It's amazing to me that I've lived when I from the time I graduated high school to today, to see technology change at a rapid speed. I mean, we didn't have personal computers when I graduated high school. We didn't have cell phones when I graduated high school. Uh, we didn't have the technology in the cars that we have now when I graduated. And of course, at that point, even when I graduated from high school, we had not put a man on the moon. That happened the year that I graduated. Uh, the year I graduated high school, that summer is when the man first set foot on the moon, and that's how far back we go. And that to me is very defining right there, to realize how far we have gone from there to now. Yeah. Well, I feel like I've gotten some wisdom over the years, Chris. I mean, yeah, yeah. I like Renegade, what he said about boat. Yeah, bust out another thousand. Yeah. Well, like the old saying goes, said there's two really happy times in your life when you're a boat owner: the day you buy the boat and the day you sell the boat. And so uh, that can happen real quick. I mean, I'm not into boats, motorcycles, a lot of different things that people do, and I'm just it is I ride. I've ridden boats before, but I've never really wanted to purchase a boat. Uh, I've been out with friends that had boats, and I had a good time, and I was glad they had one. But I didn't want to maintain a boat, and I didn't want, and I'm not so much a water person that I want to be on a big lake. We've got plenty. We got Lake Norman around here, Lake Wiley, um, and I've got a pond in my backyard. I've got a nice little 4 or 5 acre pond, and I enjoy that. And I enjoy setting out uh, close to it. I don't even fish in it though. I'm not a fisherman, and yeah, yeah, and Jim that works for me, he's got a motorcycle, and I'm awfully scared. Sometimes I tell Jim, I said, Jim, you're aging out on that motorcycle. I told my brother the same thing too, and he finally wised up and got rid of his motorcycle. He was getting to the point his knees were giving him trouble, and I said, if you go. put that motorcycle down one day and that knee collapses on you, I said, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And I think he realized that. And so I'm fearful of motorcycles. I've had some good friends that have gotten killed on motorcycles, and I almost killed myself on one when I was young. I could have gotten killed easily on what I did, and I'm thankful that I didn't. I'm thankful for my family that I didn't, and so I just I'm not into that. But I mean, I like the sound of motorcycles, and I like the nothing. There's nothing sweeter than the sound of a pretty Harley, or even the Indian or Harleys. These old engines like that. I think they got a great sound. I mean, the sound of the technology of the motors is nice. Of course, now you got the newer ones coming out and all these crotch rockets, as they call them. Uh, I'm not, those things are just tremendously dangerous. Tremendously. I mean, I've seen some of those go by me at 120 and 30 miles an hour. And it just, to think about how easily one of those persons could get killed on that at those speeds is just, oh, it just gives me cold chills. That's right. I understand, Chris. Yeah. And that's the thing about it. We all have our vices. We all have our likes and dislikes in life, and you get complacent, uh, enjoying just what you want. And I understand. You know, I kid Jim about it. I said, yeah, you used to ride your Harley and your hair blow in the wind. And I said, and now you get out there and you're just glad you've got a little bit of hair that will blow in the wind. And uh, it's a whole different situation. And there's a lot of freedom in some ways. And if it was all freedom and no danger, I guess I would like it a little bit better. But uh, the there's the element of danger, I guess, that some people like on it too, though. So it is what it is. But I'm more like Chris. I like I like I like getting in my you know getting on my tractor or in my equipment and riding around my farm, doing things down here, and I mow a lot of grass. I was mowing grass when Jamie came up the other day. I was doing a little bush hogging out in front of our property here because if I don't mow grass all the time, my grass will get away from me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got to. Oh, good gracious! I think my groundhog's out there making noise. I got a groundhog that gets on the other side of this building, and he tunnels under a part of my cement. He will. He may have a tunnel to beat the band underneath this building. I don't even know it. But um, we all have to. Like I said, we're getting back to our likes and dislikes of things, and like I said, if and the lotto win, if we're talking about that again, that would be great if you could use it wisely and not be inundated with people begging you for stuff. Because I don't mind being charitable, but I want to be charitable in the way that I want to be charitable. I don't want somebody to say, you need to do this. I know exactly what I need to do. I don't need someone else to tell me what I need to do. That's the difference, and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I'm the other thing we were talking about earlier, the weather and everything. I'm enjoying this cooler weather. I don't know what's your weather out there in the Midwest. Chris, how is it out there in the Kansas and Oklahoma and all that area out there? How's the weather been? I mean, it's right now here we're dry and cool in comparison to what we used to be. I mean, usually we have some rain by this time of the year, but we are so dry. My creeks are dry. I'm gonna get out and change one of my creek beds in the next week or so because it is dried up, and I want to change it a little bit and put another big tile in. Across my way. So that's big. That's probably going to be my biggest project that I do this next week. Oh, you ran the heat a little bit. Wow. My wife was tempted to run the heat this morning. She said, "We need to turn the heat on." I said, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, yeah. Well, it is. It's good to test the furnace. Now you got an oil furnace or do you have or gas furnace or what do you have? Or do you have electric? I've got heat pumps. Uh, I've got two. I've got two heat pumps in my house, and they do pretty good. They do pretty good. I can't complain. Our power in North Carolina is probably the most reasonable across the United States. So we can run a heat pump and not cost me an arm and a leg. Oh, you got propane? Yeah. Now I got propane for my gas logs and everything. And I have propane that I use for my hot water. I use propane for that. Love it too, because I can run. I've got that propane. It's consistent. It's not a tankless. That's what I was trying to think of. I got the tankless propane heater, water heater, and other than it taking a while to start up, it is fantastic because I have consistent hot water. Uh, I can run it all day as long as I want to keep buying propane. You got a 40-gallon electric. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of electric hot water heaters. That's the biggest, it'll run your power bill up more than anything. If you had an opportunity to switch over to one of those tankless, like I said, but the only thing about a tankless uh, is the fact that you have to let your water run for a few minutes before you'll ever get hot water. But once you get the hot water, it'll stay on. You never run out. I mean, you can do 10 showers in a row and everybody has hot water, which I think is fantastic. And because it used to be, I remember when I had the tank, we used to have a 100-gallon uh, electric. And sure enough, after about the third or fourth bath, the guy that has a shower last, he's going to run out of hot water. And see, that doesn't happen on these tankless heaters. And that's why I love them. Yeah. 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 I like natural gas. I wish I could get natural gas. I can get natural gas to my building here, but I can't get it to my house. But I can actually get natural gas here to my building. Your light bill runs about two. And see, my light bill here. I think, well, the light bill here at this shop runs me about 60 a month. The light bill at the house runs me, I think, 130, I think, down there. Uh, Whoops, I hit my camera there. But, as far as the light bills, like I said, Duke Power is real reasonable. So I feel very comfortable having Duke Power. And yeah, well, I'm not watering cattle or anything, but I'm welding, and we use the shop in here. My shop is reasonable for a shop here. I can't complain at all. I mean, it really is very, very reasonable. So I can't complain and all that sort of stuff. You run some stuff for Duke Power, have you? Yeah. Yeah. Duke Power is big up here in North Carolina. That North Carolina's part of South Carolina and everything. That's where Duke Power controls a majority of that. Well, they got 2 nuclear plants up here, and plus they've got several solar farms too. So they're probably as energy efficient as anybody. Now they got the one steam station, but they're kind of cutting back on it. Yeah. Well, guys, my voice is about to wear out on me, and I'm about to wear out on time. I've got to run down there and do some stuff for the wife. My grandson is home for fall break, so we got a little lunch and everything for them. And I'm going to enjoy life and enjoy having family, the whole family together today for lunch. So I'm going to get ready for that. I've enjoyed talking to everybody today, chatting with everybody, and like I said, enjoyed having Jamie down here this week. Jamie stopped in to see me for a few hours, and we had a great time, good fellowship, and hopefully, maybe one day I'll meet some others. Of course, I've met Joey and Mike, uh, and all those guys firsthand too. I enjoy meeting the guys out here. Love it. We got a great bunch of guys, and maybe I can meet some more of y'all someday too, and we'll go from there. Well, I'm gonna head on. Got my thumbs up. I'm gonna head on out, and we're gonna say it's been a great chat. Oh, I mean, love it, love it. All right, guys, catch you around. See you around, guys.